In 2021, Mazda sold 1.28 million cars worldwide, so less than what Tesla actually delivered in 2022. It's a pretty small company with a relatively small amount of money to invest into vehicles. But they've just done something very interesting with their electric car, which had basically died and gone to heaven. They've invested huge sums of very, very scarce money into putting a rotary engine into an electric car. In the United States, Mazda used to sell an electric vehicle called the MX-30, but it died. The reason it died is because no one was buying it. I mean, literally no one. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. Thank you for tuning in. And make sure if you're new, you check out some of the 2,800 videos we've created over the last year and a half since we started this channel. Especially the one about sodium-ion batteries, which are about to change the entire electric car world in a profound way that I think most people are completely underestimating. Now, Mazda, well, they don't really care much about sodium batteries. In fact, they don't really care much about batteries at all. At least it would seem that way. In the US, Mazda used to sell the MX-30. It's a relatively new electric car, but sales actually stopped in July after they only sold 8 cars. In August and September, they sold 0. So they just said, well, okay, we'll stop selling it. In other words, it went and died in the cemetery of electric cars, which are considered to be mediocre. Unfortunately, it was. It was hundreds and hundreds of articles and videos talking about the reasons why it didn't sell. Range was abysmal. Now, the range was only 100 miles for this vehicle. That's 161 kilometers. And it still cost $33,500 US, or nearly 50,000 Australian dollars. For a vehicle with only 100 miles of range, that was actually the worst value for money EV in the world. Now, I made a video review showing everyone the cost per mile of different EVs. I'll put a link in the description below to that video that I made. It was about a year ago, but it's still worth considering having a look. Well, now Mazda has officially returned with a vengeance, they say. They're bringing back the MX-30. And it's gonna do some amazing things because it's got an engine. The same car, well, they've somehow managed to stuff a rotary engine into it. Mazda announced that a new powertrain option for the MX-30 model will be unveiled at the upcoming Brussels Motor Show later this week. As you know, the MX-30 is an all-electric car. Now, apparently it was designed from the very beginning to accommodate an optional installation of a range extender engine, meaning an internal combustion engine and a generator with all the necessary systems. Now, I wasn't aware of this. I was questioning why this damn thing had this enormous long bonnet. It's an electric car, right? It's got a small battery pack and it's got this huge bonnet. It's big enough to have a V12 engine in it. I was thinking, this doesn't make any sense. Why would they do this? Well, I should have known. It was designed all along to have an engine in there. Maybe that's a key reason why its efficiency was so bad and its range was so poor. Now, the initial battery electric version had a small pack of only 35.5 kilowatt hours. According to the EPA, that gave it 100 miles of range. Now, Mazda is saying with a rotary engine and a fuel tank, meaning a range extender, it will have 2 to 3 times more range. So Mazda have decided to use the range extender version and a rotary engine, which the Japanese have the know-how to make, even though it hasn't been used for many years because, frankly, I don't know, there wasn't really that much demand for it. Now, yes, enthusiasts loved rotary engines, but pretty much no one else really cared about them. The rotary engine has an advantage in size and weight, according to Inside EVs, for a certain power level, but is not as efficient as other more popular engine types. So, Inside EVs claims it's a perfect fit for a vehicle that needs a backup to use from time to time. When used only rarely, the vehicle will be driven on electricity most of the time. Lower efficiency is not an issue, while less weight is a big advantage every day. Now, obviously, less weight with this car is, I think, the wrong thing to say from these guys. It's going to have a significantly increased weight, massively increased weight. Why? Because it now needs a transmission. It now needs to be able to swap over from one driveline to another. It now needs an engine. It now needs a fuel tank. It now needs the many, many parts that come along with having the internal combustion makings of a vehicle. Its weight will probably increase by around 500 kilos. Now, Mazda say they decided to use this rotary powered engine because it's the rotary engine reborn for the electric age. The rotary engine reborn for the electric age. So instead of working on making this vehicle more efficient, or maybe actually making it have a good range, Mazda just went, no, stuff all that. We'll stick an engine in it. That was their solution. Now, I'm not sure that's going to work, but hey, many people seem to love this idea. Let me know what your thoughts are of it. Would you consider one? Let me know in the comments. What we know for now is that the Rex version will be an option and that the vehicle will retain plug-in capability or external charging. In other words, it will be a rechargeable series hybrid powertrain or a plug-in hybrid. That's important because there are also series hybrids without charging capability, like the Nissan e-Power. Now, Mazda's system reminds me a little bit of a car like the new Toyota Prius. Now, they are different, but they're sort of similar in some ways in the sense of how they've been executed. So the total range of the new vehicle should be around 200 miles. That's around 320 kilometers, because it will be a relatively small fuel tank, I'd say. The range is definitely improved, but that said, there's still many electric cars you can buy today that have more range than that, such as 450 kilometers for many vehicles, or around 280 miles for many vehicles. Tesla Model Y, Model 3 standard range have around that. The BYD Atto 3 has around that. There's a number of other vehicles that have approximately that range, meaning significantly more range than this will have once it has an engine, right? An exhaust pipe, and all the other things, a petrol tank, a fuel tank, gasoline tank that go with this type of vehicle. Now, I personally think it would have been more logical to simply make the vehicle lighter, right? Reduce the size of that bonnet and make the battery pack bigger in the first place. It's probably would have meant that Mazda's MX-30, the original EV, wouldn't have died and gone to EV heaven or EV purgatory, depending on how you look at it. Now, the unveiling of this vehicle is scheduled for January the 13th. And Mazda said that as far as Europe is concerned, the plug-in hybrid powertrain will be available from the spring of this year. So, in 2022, sales of the original electric MX-30 came to an end after only 324 deliveries. And we all thought that maybe that was the end of this vehicle. But all of a sudden, it's being reborn as a rotary-powered plug-in hybrid. So it appears Mazda's strategy is, if it doesn't work as an EV, stick an engine in it. Well, what do you think about this? Will this work for Mazda long term? Let me know in the comment section below, and thank you for watching.